Welcome back to another edition of Down and Back with CornDoug. As you can see, we've got the guy I've been talking about for a while, from up in a little north of me, Mike. I'm going to butcher your last name because I've always done it right from the first time I seen you play in one of our tournaments here. Nezraluk.
Yeah, close enough. It was Nilazaric. It's all right. I got married last weekend and he screwed it up at the ceremony, so it's all good.
Moondog is so much better.
Yeah, it's a little easier.
So how you doing?
Great. Kind of in between moves now, but still trying to fire up boards. Leagues are running great, and just looking forward to getting back to bigger events. Yeah,
so talking about cornhole, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk, because I've talked about them before on the show. Got a little trouble for it, but because some people didn't agree with me. But Dean Lang, Brandon Brown down at the ACL finals in South Carolina had a great run in the competitive doubles, making that winners bracket. They went 6-0, ran into a little bit of trouble on the broadcast court.
Yeah, they showed well, especially for not having much cornhole to play up here. They showed up with lots of practice under their belt, and it's paid off.
Well, yeah, because and Trey had even mentioned on the broadcast how Brandon said how he hadn't played much, and not to kind of dwell on anything, but just it showed there was some times in the game where it showed maybe he hasn't had that experience, which maybe this will help him being down there, of just what shots to play at certain times, or just kind of what to do.
Yeah, and I know from my experience playing against better teams too, it's just stuff you learn over time. You could watch it on TV, but it's stuff you have to be in the moment for to slowly adjust your game. But it just shows what the sky's the limit for cornhole up here if our new guys are walking on the stage and pulling off wins like that.
Well, yeah, and then he did get a win in the one big blind draw the one day, and then they ran into a little bit of trouble in singles and didn't do as well as they hoped. But for me, having my experience down there, I know we'll touch on yours as well too. You go down there with some big expectations, and then you find out just where you actually stand in the cornhole world.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we went down. My brother and I went down. We played in the All Forces division in 2019, and we left after he was done work. So we got down there at like 1 a.m. We walked in the room, and Scott Sullivan was sleeping on the floor, and Paul was sleeping, but he was sleeping like sitting straight up. Scariest shit I've ever walked in on. And I'm a firefighter. I've seen some scary shit. And we got in there, and we were just too amped up. We're like, let's go to the bar, right? So we go out, and we ended up at the Yard House where everybody was going. I know Jamie said he was there the night before, and the other guys. So we walked in, we're just having a few drinks, all excited. We got to be up in 5-6 hours to play cornhole. And we met this lady, let's call her Gladys, because I can't remember her name, and I think Gladys was close. And she gave us the best pep talk we've ever had of our lives. And she was telling us, like, we're the greatest motherfuckers, nothing's going to stop you guys, and like yelling at us at the bar. And we're like, holy shit. So we go to bed, get a few hours sleep, wake up, roll out to a 21-0 win in 6 rounds. And we're like, Jesus, that lady's a saint. Mm-hmm. And then we found out that she gave the same pep talk to Jamie and them the night before, and all the magic wore off. It's like MJ's special water. It was all gone, and we ran into some good teams after that. Jason Bell was the next one we played, and he taught us a quick lesson, and great guy, taught us some tricks and stuff. And from then it kind of slid down. And I think we did lose both games in the elimination, so we were double knocked out right away. But we were playing for a year before that and definitely walked in over our head, but the experience was amazing.
Well, and that's what I found too, and just talking to those other players, and even talking with them with the show here as well too. But just talking to them and getting their kind of views on what to do on different shots, and just standing next to a better player who's much better than you and watching them play is just helps out so much.
Yeah, and like some of our best memories from that was the blind draws and following around the fellow Canadians. Like Scott and Steve both went on a pretty good run, and we were following them around, and we got a big crowd going behind them and cheering and stuff. It was a blast. It definitely is a lot more loose when you're eliminated and just having fun. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I knew that very well when I was down there. So, but yeah, so there's all that with the with the worlds, but then we come back here, and now you're like head in with the cornhole leagues.
Yeah, so I guess I started playing in like 2016 at it was Browns game. They lost, obviously. But yeah, it was tailgate, and I had a blast. Came back, and like a week later was my birthday, and my wife and my dad schemed up a set of boards, and we played in the backyard, and that's kind of where it took off. And I don't remember how I saw the first event we played with you guys, the national qualifier, but I found it, and I'm like, hey, Joey, we got to go. And we're like, all right, let's go. We're going to sign up for top division. We got this. And we warmed up with Jeff and Scott were by us. And we went and told Matt we'll play in the social division. And so from there, actually, we did well. We lost in the finals to Sandeep and Leanne.
Yep.
And then in the singles, my brother beat me in the finals. And that struck the chord, and it was game time. Like, wanted to play all the time. We needed a good set of boards, so I slowly learned how to build boards, and it's kind of turned into what Moondog is today, a board building company and event organizer. And now we got 2 great leagues. Alliston's on Mondays. We had 34 people out this Monday, and then Orillia's Wednesdays, and last night we had 38 people out. So it's it's all cornhole all the time now. My soccer days are done. I'm too old and fat.
I think that's for all of us.
Yeah, it's a lot less pain the morning after a cornhole night than it is after a soccer night. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I know that firsthand as well too. And for anyone that is watching or listening, if you head over to the KW Cornhole YouTube page, you'll be able to see Mike playing in that first tournament with KW. I think that video is still up on the YouTube page. But
nice.
But yeah, you've got some top players there as well too, playing with you up in Alliston and Orillia.
Yeah, so like Brandon Brown's in Alliston, who's down at the Worlds right now. Him and Tracy play with us. George Vargas, he's solid every week. Alliston's got a good, solid top 4 or 5, and then a blend underneath that. And our fun division's a blast. Like, you can look out and look at the fun division courts, and they're laughing and having a good time. And then Orillia, we've had 5 different winners in 5 weeks, so it's kind of wide open. Cole and Kim are the staples in the top 3, but everybody else has been interchangeable.
Well, yeah, with Cole and Kim, I've seen them up the top because I've seen them play, and Kim is one of the top women in Canada, I'm going to say, for playing. And seen them up at the top there that first week, and then slowly they've been kind of just, well, I guess not slowly, but they've been number 2. There's been other people that have been stepping up there.
Yeah, no, it's been Kim and Cole are also, they're taking over the Orillia League eventually. And you know how that goes, is organizing, running, doing that. Kind of throws your game off a little bit. So I wouldn't count them out yet. I'm sure we'll see them at the top a lot to continue. But just that learning curve of running to the computer and running back over to play your game.
Well, yeah, and that's the nice thing with some of these new apps that are starting to come out with either Scoreholio or the ACL app, that they're kind of almost running it for you. And I know Matt's here in KW is found it a little easier, that some of his time is a little more enjoyable.
Oh yeah, for sure. And big thanks to Matt for helping me out to learn the learning curve of all that stuff. And obviously the Scoreholio webpage there, they're great every time you contact them, and same with the ACL guys. So it does make it a lot more enjoyable to not have to sit there and put a pen to a paper and do math and the old school way.
Yeah, and it even helps to keep the score, because you don't have to use a pen and paper to score. You don't have to really keep at it, because sometimes when you're drinking, math just sucks.
Oh yeah, and I know a lot of guys that can't count. So yeah. It was 21 a long time ago. They still claim it's 18.
Yeah. So now I think it's one thing I would really like to try and get up to be able to see your league, because you've said about so many new players, because you are 2 new starting up. But I know that for us coming out of COVID, our new players are just, we're getting the 24, 25, 26 players out each week, but our regulars still haven't come back out. So we're still missing like 8 regular people. And our league nights now are we're just a blast. We still got a couple of people that are still just, we got to win. But it seems like those new people are really starting to have the ones that are the veterans, you can say. There's more laughing, more joking kind of going on.
Yeah. And one thing I keep trying to hammer home with people is cornhole should be a drop-in type league. You shouldn't have to sign up for 10 weeks, which I know you guys do the same, right?
Yeah.
And Peterborough does the same. And it's a drop-in league, you know, show up, pay your 10, 20 bucks, whatever it is, and play. And people are starting to get that. And then, you know, the night before they're talking to friends and they're like, oh yeah, got nothing going on tomorrow. They're like, oh, you got to come out to cornhole. And it makes life that much easier.
For sure, yeah, because I know for myself, working kind of shift work in the winter when our season's going, I'm only making it every other week. So that makes it, I want to say, easier for me because I'm not having to run and say, oh, you need to get a partner for this week because I'm not going to be there. And that's what makes it tough. So I think that the drop-in is just so much easier.
Yeah, and I know, like, having the curling pass, being the president of the curling club, we would have loved to have a drop-in, but the overhead's so much that you can't. Cornhole, the overhead doesn't have to be so much, so we can do the drop-ins and stuff, right? Like, most leagues have great sponsors, which almost cover the cost of all the boards and bags, and the rest is just take 10, put whatever back in the pot, and pay for stuff down the road. It's beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. So kind of thinking of myself here now, if anyone might think that you are a little more familiar looking, you did a lot of the virtual stuff as well too. So you jumped right in with that.
Yeah, so I saw the ghosts online and that stuff, so I started playing by myself. And then after a while, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like sex. Like first time you had sex, then you know you're in a dry spell and you're by yourself, and it's just not the same.
Yeah. And
I was just losing it. So it was nice to get the virtuals. They after the Canadian, I was ready to go back and play against people. But yeah, the international virtual, we'll just call it that because I know you don't know the full name either. So we'll just go with short terms.
I know Cornhole Europa. Aaron over in Germany, who's another former guest of the show, started that up in Europe.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it started with the International Pro Amateur Blind. Mm-hmm. And I ended up with Bob Vaunch, and we lost in the quarters to the guy from Norway. His name's slipping me. I should have wrote it down. Yeah. Actually, he's the only Norwegian player, and he's a really good actually. Then we had the Canadians, which I lost in the semis to Scott Sullivan, and then the international I played with my brother, the one in Europe. And I think we ended up 3rd or 5th or something, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. Had like a super windy day. It was one of those fun days where you're like, we got to get this video out. Let's just do it. But those guys are great. They're doing a good job over there. They're growing cornhole pretty quick in Europe, which is hopefully next year at Worlds we'll be able to go and they'll be able to go and we can see all those guys.
Well, exactly, yeah, because it's going wild. Like in I know with McCallie in Sweden and Aaron, and I know Kim Kantz in Germany, and France has got the big stuff going on now where I think Remy's even actually bringing bags in. So it is getting huge. People keep saying, "Oh, it's not worldwide yet," but it's a lot closer than what people think.
Yeah, and we got the Australians have something good going, and we actually met a lot of them in Valley of Forge when we went down the Worlds, and they were a blast too. We're touching 3 continents now, so let's just keep it going and see how big it could get.
Well, I know because with the ACL one, I believe there was someone from Argentina, and I know South Africa. Oh, yeah, been talking to a guy in South Africa who's been kind of jumping on that bandwagon. So it is a lot bigger than what people may think.
Yeah, I forgot about Argentina. So I guess we're on 4 continents already. So that's good.
Yeah. So, and then speaking of a lot bigger than what people think is, you've got a big event coming up here, very soon.
Yeah. So on August 14th at the Stroud Curling Club, which is in Innisfil, it's just south of Barrie. It's the 3rd Simcoe County Cornhole Championships. Sorry, Doug, I couldn't get a shorter name. It was the one that came up.
It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah. So it's the 3rd one. The first one was relatively local. The last one we had guys like Sperry came down from Buffalo. Yep. So we had people throwing their first bag to a pro last time. It was a lot of fun. And we touched 60 teams last time. This year, I think we're at 27 competitive so far and 16 fun, hoping to grow it a bit. There's still people a little weary with COVID and stuff, which I understand. So if you're comfortable with throwing out without a mask, come out. If not, maybe next year will be the year we get you out. But yeah, it's a fun day. We finally were able to split into divisions. And yeah, just head over to the website's up, moondogcornhole.com. You don't have to pay anything to sign up right away. It's just our VSP. We've got Mean Mo's catering it. They're a championship barbecue team, and you guys will be blown away. For you guys that know Brad Billiard, he knows them really well, so he could attest to the quality of work they do. And yeah, it's $10 for the fun division, $20 for competitive per player, 70% payout for competitive. Fun, we're just going to give away random prizes. So if there is a competitive player that wants to play fun, it's still allowed because there's no actual winner. It's just drawn out of a hat. Singles is going to follow the competitive, and that will be just a straight double elimination knockout bracket. That'll be $10.
Yeah, and that's starting right early in the morning then as well, is it not?
Yeah, so the fun's going to start at 10 o'clock. And then competitive will be around 1 o'clock. We'll start. Competitive players could show up around 11:30 if they want to head up to the lounge area, grab a drink, grab some food, and then we'll get ready to go. There's a lot of the top players in Southern Ontario are there, minus the Essex guys because it's a little bit of a haul, but we'll get them out eventually. So it'll be a blast. It'll be good cornhole, good guys, and it'll always be fun like it has been.
And I know that we will be doing some live feeds from there as well, too. I've been kind of told that I will be doing some talking. So for me, although I do have a good partner in this one here, I got Adam from Peterborough, so I might have a little longer run than what I usually do. But yeah, I've been doing some live feeds, and you even have stuff for sale there. I know Canadian Cornhole Supplies Canada. That name gets me, too. We'll be there with some bags for sale, and it should be a good day.
Yeah, and Matt's sponsoring a lane with the Octane as well, so we'll have the all decked out lane. If you want to set up your own feed, it'll look slick, look like you're down at Worlds playing in a pro tournament, but really you're just in small town Ontario having fun.
Oh, and that's the thing. It's just it's the having fun and just showing people that we do have some big cornhole up here as well too.
Yeah, and with the border situation sucks because I know when Bobby and those guys came down last time, they were talking to a lot of other guys that wanted to come down last year, and obviously we've been shut down for a while, and we see the light, and hopefully the light stays there and doesn't get shut off on us again. But
no, exactly, yeah, because I know I talked to some guys from, actually I believe even the Doghouse guys from Boston, they wanted to come up to it as well too. Got some other guys from Ohio. In the future, it could be really big.
Yeah, I represent Ohio all the time. A big Cleveland fan, city and teams. But yeah, so when I get my schedule for next year, I'll post next year's date good and early so we could let everybody know, and hopefully get a lot of the American teams up here just to show the Canadians just the talent that's out there just across the border.
Yeah, so then once that's done, then we refocus. We keep the league going. We've also got the new thing that you're going to be a part of as well, too, is the Southern Ontario Cornhole Series, which you're going to be putting at least 2 teams in for that.
Yeah, so I'll only take claim to one because Kim is going to be the captain of Orillia. But yeah, both our leagues are going to put in teams. They're both going to be fairly strong teams and a lot of fun. We look forward to trying to knock off Kitchener's the top team, I think, going into it. Yeah. Don't be so modest. But yeah, no, it's I love the concept when Matt came with it, home game, away game, and then a final kind of tournament. And then you get we're going to sit down with the other team and figure out a game when all 20 players can make it too, right? So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, you have to show up this date, take a vacation day. Like we've got a long window to figure stuff out to get everybody out. Singles, doubles, and crew cup. I couldn't think of a better concept to get the competitive players kind of together and get the juices going and push each other to be a little bit better.
Well, yeah, and you know what, and even we wanted to try and keep the cost down for players to play, and I think we worked out that it's almost like it's like $2 or $3 a game when you break it all down with how many games you're going to play in those two, that home and away, and then in the finals.
Yeah, and take one of the wins between the two, split your games, and cost is even cheaper, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we as a whole, the ACL group in Canada has kept costs down, which is nice. It should be an affordable sport, I think.
Which, talking about ACL in Canada, forgot to mention off the top of the show with the stuff going down at Worlds. Congrats to Sean Sabine from Cornhole Newfoundland. But we know, Amber, you're the one that actually runs the show. Sean just kind of sits around and helps out sometimes. But on being the ACL International Directors of the Year, beating out Matt for that title by hello. Really, Sean's the only ACL league that's actually being able to run consistently in Canada. And then also Octane Thrower Mike Ferreira getting the Breakout Player of the Year, which I think that was a no-brainer for me. Just going from like 160 singles and pros up to, I believe he's in the top 20. So it's, I think that for me, that was a breakout player.
Yeah. Yes, bye. Congratulations, Sean and Amber. My in-laws are all Newfies, so I understand the crowd you could get on your side, and I bet you their tournaments are just a blast. And MF are always fun to watch. And yeah, I know a few people that have reached out to him with questions and stuff, and he's like a lot of the pros where they're more than generous with their time.
Well, I know with Flair Airlines, if they want to come on as a sponsor, I will gladly take them on as a sponsor. But they are going from where he's at in Florida, flying up here to Toronto, and all points in between. So he's really hoping to be able to come up to play some stuff with some of our leagues up here in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Flair, get on this. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, it's we could use you. But speaking of sponsors, just to kind of give it a little break here, remember to check out Octane Cornhole, octanecornhole.com. Get all of your bags, gear, hats, shirts, whatever you need. Using discount code CornDoug, get yourself 10% off. I know, Moondog, you do use the Octane bags for your leagues.
Yeah, we've spent a few $1,000s on bags to get up and going, and we're throwing the Apex for both our leagues right now, and then next year we'll get a different brand in there just to mix it up. But everybody that throws them loves them, and I've got another order coming your way, so get ready to stuff some bags there, Matt.
And then the other sponsor, myearfund.com. I know you were looking at maybe possibly getting some of their stuff. I know there was some issues with that. But for all your earbuds, your Bluetooth speakers, discount code CornDoug there will get you 20% off. And then there's that other guy, Jamie Cowan, who's extremely busy, too busy to even come out and play cornhole at jccornhole.com to get yourself some boards if you're in the area, or you're going up to get your boards with Moondog Cornhole there. On that website, moondogcornhole.com, we'll get boards from Mike. And then if you're in the Alberta area, Edmonton, Sherwood Park to be exact, Sierra Homes, so sierrahome.com, Sierra Property Inspections. Check out Darren there. He does great work in the Alberta, Edmonton, Sherwood Park area. And if you do use him, a portion of that will go to child cancer in that area. So that he does great work there, and super friendly guy as well too. So check him out on Facebook, Sierra Property Inspections. Give him a like. Let him know that you were sent from the show here.
Yeah, that's awesome that he gives back to something that obviously he's dealt with, but yeah, it's always good when you're in a seat to be able to get back. And I've been fortunate enough that Big Brothers reached out to me, and I've got an event next week with the kids and their mentors where we're just doing a fun carnival themed cornhole day. So it's fun for me. I get to introduce a bunch of kids and adults to cornhole, and fun for them. They get to play, and that'll be an event I have next year. Is a good fundraiser for big brothers up in Orillia. We're hopefully going to get the local brewery to host us and raise some funds and have some fun.
Actually,
And Jamie,
I was just going to say you do a lot of stuff with charity with your stuff, with your cornhole stuff up in your area.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that we're able to, and all our airmail draws, which nobody's won yet. We've had a few rim outs, but they're attached to charities as well. When we do the Simcoe tournament, we're going to do a little bit of half the 50% side is going to a charitable cause as well. So anything we can, we don't want to gouge our players, but anything that's optional, like the airmail box or anything, I like to attach it. We don't need the money. We just pass it on to somebody who may.
Mm-hmm. And I think you almost see every cornhole league, group, whatever is always doing a lot of stuff for charity, which I think is great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a family. Cornhole's definitely been a family in Ontario, and we got those uncles and those cousins that you look funny at, but when they show up, you still open your arms and play a good game of cornhole with them.
Well, exactly, yeah. And so with that, I'm not sure if there's anything else you wanted to touch base with Moondog and with your cornhole stuff.
No, yeah. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the website. Check it out. Reach out even if you just want to chat about cornhole. I love talking. Doug will know I talk his ear off all the time.
We have a lot of chats.
Yeah, so just check it out. Give me a shout out, and if you got any events, I'll repost them as long as you're associated with good causes and good people, and let's keep the ball rolling and get Ontario cornhole to grow even more.
Exactly. Yeah. So I want to thank you for coming on, talking about your time down at the ACL finals. The last time we could travel down there, that was 2019, and then you're hope to see everybody this weekend coming up here at the Innisfil at the curling club, and not there. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and keep it going, guys. Keep growing the sport, keep making it fun, and soon enough we'll be getting a pro out on that ACL circuit from Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure. So as always, watch out for those people throwing gas, because they could be at the Simcoe County Cornhole Championships kicking your ass.
Cheers.